Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to create a robot character, and we could click new here, or I always like to go up to file new because I don't know, I'm just used to doing it that way. And we want to make sure we set up a letter size document, so it's 8.5 inches by 11 inches, and we want it to be tall or portrait. Let's hit create. Okay, great. So we have our toolbar over here. We have a properties window. I'm zoomed out at 70%. You could adjust this and make it zoomed out even further if you'd like. Um, and you could click this and zoom back in with the magnifying glass. Okay, let me get this out of the way. So remember, up in Windows where you could find things if they're missing. So if your tools um, aren't there, you can click this and get your tools back set up. Okay, and let's get going. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the rectangle tool first, and we're going to make the shape of the head. And let's just go ahead and start like that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and decide that we're going to make the head of our robot gray. Now you could uncheck this or check this. It doesn't really matter right now. I'm just going to kind of, I think, seems like it might be simpler to all have the same color if I click only web color, so I'm going to do that for this. And we're going to make him light gray. And now let's give him some ears. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is drag a little rectangle about so. And I want it to be exactly the same, so I'm going to take this on the other side. So I'm going to take this black tool, I'm going to edit copy. Okay, and I'm going to go edit paste in front. And now I can drag it across. If you wanted an exact same horizontally exactly the same, you could hold shift as you are dragging it. Okay, and now I've got the beginnings of his head. Okay, now let's go ahead and get right into the eyes. So I'm going to hold the mouse down here, or you could right click, I think, to get to this little pop-up. Take the ellipse tool, and I'm going to go ahead and hold shift, and I'm going to make my eyes giant real quick, okay, and then I'll shrink them in a minute. And I want to make this back to white, so I'm going to go ahead and actually no, I'll leave it gray. And now what I'm going to do is edit copy, edit paste in front, and I'm going to go ahead and hold shift and shrink it down a bit. I could have just drawn another circle, I suppose. Okay, and let's just do that. There's a lot of different ways to do things. And I'm going to make this one white. Okay, so it's going to be, actually, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and fill it in black. Okay, this is a little idea I had before we started this tutorial. Okay, now I'm going to draw a little circle right up at the top. Sounded weird, circle. Okay, and now I'm going to make it with the white, so it looks like a little shiny part on his eye. Okay, now what I'm going to do is group all this together. So I don't want to accidentally drag pieces apart, so I'm going to take the black arrow and drag around all of it, and I can group it. I don't typically right click things to do stuff. I usually go up here, object group, or in truth I use the keyboard for this. Here's the keyboard shortcut for every time you see this little description onto the right. To group things, you push Control G on your keyboard. So now I've grouped an eye, and with the black arrow I can drag it around. If you take the white arrow, you could select individual pieces inside of it, but with the black arrow you could grab the whole thing as one big unit. Okay, now I'm going to hold shift and shrink it down. Okay, let's see where we like that. He's got a big eye, and I'm going to edit copy, edit paste in front, and I'm going to drag it and then hold shift and get it set up about so. Okay, now, okay, and so now we're going to do the little tippy top thing on his head. Let's just take the we could do the I'm going to do a Polygon tool, and let's see what kind of shape we get here. I've got that's an octagon. I don't want that. Whoops. Just click, and I'm going to go with geez, I could just do a triangle or a square, but I'm going to go six-sided. because I think I have an idea here. I'm going to go ahead and teach you something here. I'm going to take this pen tool. What's really cool about the pen tool is you can add points or remove points. If you hover right over this dot, you'll see that the cursor has a little minus sign next to your pen, and you can click and the point will disappear. Okay? And now I can take the black arrow and make it more narrow. I'm going to move it to the top of his head, and I am going to use the eyedropper to click the side of his face. Okay, now. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get the round part here. Hold shift. Give him a little. I'm going to use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move this, and let's just go ahead and fill it in with black. Okay, not sure if that's, heck, let's make it red. Double click and pick red. Okay, I don't know. And I think this should probably be a little skinnier. Doesn't seem to look right. It's that wide. Okay, something like that. And this circle's probably too big. Okay, so you make it how you want. Maybe your circle's smaller, bigger. Maybe you have two of these little horns on top. Okay, so the video's going to get too long, so I'm going to save this here, and then we'll continue on with the mouth in a bit. Okay, have fun setting up the head of your robot.